It is Tuesday and I am feeling good. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, Grand. It's a risings, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I'm going to do us some justice today and play a little bit of music as you guys are coming in because I just feel like doing that today. It's Tuesday. I'm feeling great. I'm going to play, I want to play Love Healer by DJ King Shad because this song is so phenomenal to me. I've told you guys about this song before. When the album came out, it was just at a time where I was just evolving into this person that can share my love with somebody else. So this song is so phenomenal to me. So come on in the room, everybody. I'm going to start us off as I open it up on Facebook to Love Healer. This is by DJ King Shad. Good morning to everybody. Hey, Big Mike. Hey, baby. Come on in, everybody, as you are coming in. Let me know from 1 to 10 where you are with health. Today, I am coming in at a 10. I am feeling good. I am feeling great. Like God is so good and definitely working in my life. And I pray that God can do the same for you if you allow it. Let me go ahead and open this up. Baby, can you be my I'm going to turn this up a little bit for y'all so y'all can hear it on TikTok. The name of this song is Love Healer.
Your words alone can make me better. Your touch alone can make me feel so new. I knew you were the one for me. That's why no matter how many times we fight, I ain't going nowhere. I can block you 100 times, a million times. I swear to goodness, I will still be there on the line. Like baby,
I don't know how y'all feel about this song. You can hear it also on 91.3 FM. Up here in the studio.
So it's all cool. Can you be the light I need? Can you be the love that sets me free from all this pain hurting me? Baby, can you be my remedy? Yes, it is. Your love's my healer. Your love's my healer. Yeah. Your love's my healer.
Yeah, great. Hey, get my yours, baby.
Your love's my healer. Your love's my healer. It's my healer.
Break it down. Come on in, y'all. That song was Love Healer by DJ King Shad. I just wanted to open it up and just set a atmosphere for us all, just to love on each other and just feel good about just being alive today. There's so much bad news in the news today that it's like, okay, we got to open it up with something that's inspiring, something that makes you feel good and makes you jam. So I wanted to open it up with something like that. Love Healer by DJ King Shad. Grand rising to everybody out there today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, even though we have some things to talk about that's not so, rest in peace. We had three people that we're going to be talking about that passed away, y'all. One of them is Dikembe, and I want to make sure I get his last name right, Mutombo. Do you guys know who Dikembe Mutombo is? Tapping is clapping. I don't know what that is, Tina, but I'm tapping the screen. Oh, I'm learning something new on TikTok, y'all. Oh, I like that feature. I'm learning something new. I am really trying to work out this TikTok because I love what is going on over here. And I'm loving that. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Tina T. I like that. So when some of you guys may know that when you tap the screen and you're live, it actually makes it clap and these hearts appear. Oh, that is just dope. That is just dope, y'all. So moving on, because I have to hop on the radio. Make sure y'all download the Radio FX app. Okay. So you can listen to me live on 91.3 FM WBNY at from 10 to 12 today. We're going to be playing some independent artists. I cannot wait. I'm going to get some Molotov Mall out there. I'm going to get some Genesis out there. I'm going to play some great music. So make sure you download the Radio FX app so you can listen to me live on 91.3 FM WBNY. So, Mutombo, y'all. Oh, rest in peace. And these are some young people that passed away. Like, he's not even that old for us to even be talking about it. But so he was a Congolese American basketball player. He came from the Congolese. He's a Hall of Famer. We're talking about Dikembe, everybody. Rest in peace to him. Now, it seems like what happened, I'm just getting everything set up here and go into the story. Tell us about menopause and hysterectomies. Oh, we can definitely talk about that, The Traveler. We can talk about that right after I talk about these. Rest in peace. We can get this out the way and we can definitely talk about that. Thank you so much for bringing up something that we can talk about, because hysterectomies are real and menopause is definitely real as well. So who was Dikembe Mutombo, everybody? And I'm reading this off of Wikipedia, but you can do a simple internet search as well. So he was a Congolese American professional basketball player. He played 18 seasons in the NBA, and they nicknamed him Mount Mutombo. Now, some of you may be familiar with who he is, especially if you are in the basketball arena. You enjoy basketball. You're probably familiar with who he is. But for those of us who are not familiar with who he is or who he was, let's talk about him right now. He was just born in 1966. That means he was just 10 years older than me, 58 years old. That is young. That is very, very young for him to have lost his life. It looks like he was battling for a while, everybody. Let's just look into his death. I believe it was cancer, if I'm not mistaken. So he was also a global ambassador, was being reported. Hey, JD, grand rising to you. So what's being reported on NBC News is that he blocked 3,289 shots during his long career, and that included stops in Denver, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, and Houston. So listen, y'all, if you are into basketball, you're probably mourning today, and I do send my condolences to him and to his family. You know, it is very, very tough when you are dealing with someone who passes in your life, especially at such a young age, right? No one wants to lose anybody at such a young age. He was just living, you know. He was really just living. He accomplished a lot in his lifetime. And it was from brain cancer. That's what's being reported today, everybody. So rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo. I'm sure your family, they're mourning right now. I talk about how I lost my mom in July, and I'm still mourning from that. Yeah, so rest in peace to him. Now, moving on, Chris Christopherson, y'all. He lived to see 88, so he was definitely blessed to see a lot more years than Dikembe did. Not comparing any of it, because it doesn't. You can't compare apples and oranges. They're just two different fruits. But he did live to see 88. Now, some of you, I'm going to sneeze, y'all. Some of you may be familiar. Oh, excuse me. With who Chris Christopherson is. So he was an American singer and songwriter and actor, y'all. I'm going to pull up the screen of him. Let me just share. If you guys are watching me on Green Links Media, you can see a picture of him. I'm going to bring up the picture of Dikembe also, just so everybody is familiar with who he was and what he accomplished in his lifetime. Let me just pull this up. Oh, excuse me, everybody. Oh, let me share my screen here. And thank you, everybody. Whistler from the movie Blade. Oh, okay. Hey, oh, thank you so much. Angie says she's good. Good morning. Just stopping by to say have a blessed day, have a blessed Tuesday. Thank you so much, Angie. I received that. I received that. Thank you so much. And anybody else that's out there, let me know where you are from 1 to 10 as you are coming into the room. I am at a 10 today. And grateful to be at a 10 today. So grateful to be at a 10. So this was Dikembe, everybody. This was in 1991. So this was probably at the height of his career, as you can see. Younger fans, they're saying, might not have been familiar with Mutombo's career because it spanned from 1991 to 2009. People were introduced to his finger wag during a Geico car insurance ad that comically featured his blocks and taunts. That's what's being reported on NBC News. So moving on, Chris Christopherson, everybody. So this is him. If you guys are watching on Green Links Media, you can see the picture of Chris Christopherson. He was an American singer and songwriter. He passed away as well September 28th at 88. There's a lot that can be said about both of these gentlemen. I also want to talk about Benny Golson. Now, one of the songs I was listening to, he was a jazz musician that passed away. And I was listening to one of the songs this morning. I think it's called Killer Joe. And the beat definitely reminds me of something, a movie that I would have seen when I was a young child. So if you guys are not familiar with who the legendary jazz artist Benny Golson is, look up the song Killer Joe. I looked it up on Apple Music, and this morning it kind of put me in a really great mood. It's a really great song. You know what? I'm going to play a little bit of it. I'm probably going to get a oh, I needed that up there, y'all. Let me just pull up another page. Oop. So y'all can listen to a little bit of that, because I thought the song was just so beautiful and it just put me in such a spiritual mood. So I'm going to pull up a little bit of his song, y'all, while I am here. Yeah, the name of this song is called Killer Joe. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. Hey, DJ Trill, thank you so much. Hey, Bam Fam, thank you so much for joining this morning. I'm going to play a little bit of this song. Bam Fam, are you all? Listen to that beat. Hey, hey, I didn't even start sharing now. Let me share my screen so I can listen to. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. So that was made by the legendary jazz artist Benny Olson. Some of you guys Benny Golson. Lord, I got to get the names right. Some of you may or may not be familiar. I wasn't familiar, so I had to get familiar. Rest in peace to the three of them. It is not easy when you going through it and you lose someone you love at any age. It's not easy. JD said, I like it. It reminds me of Snoopy. Yeah, doesn't it? Or what was the flying lady's name? Mary Poppins. It kind of put me in one of those moods. I love old movies, y'all. Like movies from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. I love black and white movies. And it kind of put me in that mood as if I was watching a black and white movie. So moving on, everybody. I do want to talk about Hurricane Helene. Now, we haven't really spoken much about it. A lot of people, JD, you included, you were affected by Hurricane Helene. Thankfully, the people that I know in Georgia and Florida were not harmed. Thank God. But a lot has been done in the Asheville area of North Carolina, y'all. Now, JD, let us know, what was your experience during Hurricane Helene? Because I know last week you were getting prepared in case anything happened. And some of you that's watching right now may have been getting prepared in case anything happened. I want to know, praise God. Yes, praise God. I want to know how you guys were affected, because I know we got a little bit of rain in the Buffalo area. We did not get a lot of rain. But in Manhattan and Brooklyn, they got quite a bit of rain. So everybody was affected a little bit. But how were you all affected? Is my question. And good morning to you, daughter. Thank you so much. Hey, Jelani, thank you so much for joining this morning. I appreciate everybody for joining. I really do. I appreciate all of you that continue to come back and rock with me, your girl Vette Grain, as I am evolving. This I will be from on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting today. I will be on 91.3 FM WBNY. I will not be live on Green Links Media. But if you want to listen to the music, you can catch me on 91.3 FM WBNY. So you have to download the Radio FX app. Please download the Radio FX app. So moving on, everybody. Devajna says she's coming in at a 7, but working it up. That is the goal right there. As you are coming in, where are you with your mental health? I'm at a 10. You know, I got a great hug last night from my daughter, and you don't even know what it just did. Can you hear me now? Okay. It just hearing somebody when you are going through things in your life, and sometimes just having some encouragement really does put you in a space where you feel like you can do it. Many of us, we are our own worst enemy, me included. I've been thinking about this over the weekend, how you are supposed to love yourself unconditionally. But a lot of times, y'all, we don't love ourselves unconditionally. We can give all this love to everybody else, but when it comes to us, we put ourselves on the back end, and that's not always good. Many times it is, if we are not doing okay, nothing else around us is going to be doing okay, because we are the strength that's required. JD said, God watched over my town, but not far from here they have and are still having to boil water and power outage. Wow, JD. Now I know you said you're down in Georgia. So what parts were actually, where there is down lines? I know in Asheville, you are, that apparently like that they have it bad right now. This hurricane, and a lot of them are saying that they really weren't alerted. I do apologize, everybody. I forgot to put the focus on. As you can see, I am a busy woman, and I wear multiple hats in this thing called life. But I am managing. Thank you, Lord. I am managing. JD said Atlanta, South Fulton side. Okay, so she's saying JD, who's down in Georgia, over on TikTok, is saying that Atlanta and South Fulton side, thank God that they were not affected in her hometown by Hurricane Helene, but many people were. So I want to bring up this story about Hurricane Helene and the damages, you guys, because many of us may not have been affected, but we have loved ones that have been affected. They're saying that this is what CBS News is reporting, that it brought biblical devastation to Western North Carolina in a near worst case scenario. That is what CBS News is reporting, everybody. Biblical. That is huge. So what's being reported by CBS News, everybody, I'll give them credit for this. It says Hurricane Helene has proved to be disastrous for Appalachia, as massive amounts of precipitation from the storm caused rampant flooding that has devastated several towns and killed dozens of people. On Monday, the North Carolina State Climate Office provided a picture of how the monster storm was nearly a worst case scenario for Western North Carolina. So you remember what was in the news is that Florida was going to be harmed. But what happened, now Florida may have been harmed, but what seems to have happened is that North Carolina got the brunt of it, which is unfortunate. JD is saying mostly flooding and trees down. Now, what happens when you have these natural disasters, these devastations? I know up here in Buffalo, when we've gotten like 12 feet of snow, we had to have people like FEMA come in to help us. There was, I believe it was in 2007, we had a really bad snowstorm in October. They call it the October storm. And I remember we had so many downed trees. I was out there working with FEMA to figure out what trees needed to be come down, and we had to walk around with these boards and document where the trees and the devastation was. So I can just imagine that it's a similar circumstance that's going down right now in parts of North Carolina, especially if you live in those areas that have felt the devastation. Down trees, down lines. That means even cell phones are not going to be working in these areas, y'all. This is true devastation, and they're talking about biblical forms. That's scary. Isn't it amazing how many of the stories that's in the Bible right now are coming true? Isn't it amazing? Does anyone ever think about any of the stories that's in the Bible and how history truly does repeat itself? Like, isn't it repeating itself right now? I remember when I was a little kid and I'm listening to these Bible stories and watching movies like Superman and She-Ra and He-Man. You think about these characters as just characters, not as true life, right? But think about it. What if these people were real? The people in the Bible were real. They went through similar situations that we are going through now. The difference is that we have technology at our hand. They had a different type of technology. They didn't have this digital technology that we have now. So that's really the only difference. They had to survive storms. They had to survive life's ups and downs as well. So I say that to say, maybe looking at the Bible here and there and looking at the stories that's in the Bible will maybe help us have a better future, because it's scary right now. It is scary to hear about these dock workers that are potentially, going to be walking off. And I'm going to do an update on that story as well as we're talking about it. But it's scary to think that something like automation, what we use every single day, can potentially take your job. But it's happening, y'all. Let's look up the dock worker strike. I want to get I want to give an update on that before we move on and talk about what the DOJ came down with. Thank you to Roland Martin. He was the only one. He was the only one as of yesterday when I was doing my research. He was the only one reporting on this. So big ups to Roland Martin for reporting on this, because this is huge, y'all. If this case goes the way it needs to go, this really is significant. So let's talk about the dock workers strike, everybody. I just want to do a quick update, and this is being reported by the AP News. So what they're saying is dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas go on strike. So a strike has started, a standoff risking new shortages. So yeah, the strike is on and popping. The strike is on and popping. So for those of us who have done some shopping and those packages have not arrived yet, the strike is on and popping. Hey, Mr. Swagger, I'm inviting some of you guys down if you want to come on and join me this morning. I would love you to come on and just say hi to everyone. It is truly up to you. But yeah, so the dock workers are striking. I'm going to read a little bit of what's being said on AP News. It says dock workers at ports from Maine to Texas began walking picket lines today. Today is Tuesday, so the strike started today. And they're striking over wages and automation. Listen, these computers that we use every day, these computers are eventually going to take some of our jobs. Look at AI. AI is going to take some of our jobs. Some people I know, like I feel it in my bones that person that put out that book about Diddy used AI or something, just combine everything that's out there because what I'm being told is that there's really nothing new in this book. So there's really no reason to buy it. It's just a combination of information that's out there for us to see already for free. Okay. So for those of us who are going to be doing some shopping, I know I'm waiting on some packages right now. It says what's being reported by AP News is that the contract between the ports and about 45,000 members of the International Longshoremen's Association expired last night at midnight. And even though progress was reported in talks yesterday, the workers went on strike. They're saying no. They're saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're in these back-breaking jobs, and we deserve to be paid a just wage. We deserve to be paid a livable wage. We deserve to make sure that our jobs are going to be there for us. And they do. Think about it. All that lifting and pushing and pulling and all of that is backbreaking. It's backbreaking work. Yeah, there's some automation. There's some where, and JD said, and they do. There is some automation where they have machines helping lift these boxes and all of that. But they still have to get these boxes out. There's real people. If you look at what's being done at Amazon, there's real people. When you order that refrigerator or you order that dresser from Amazon, these are real people taking these boxes out and putting them on these assembly lines and getting them to us, y'all. They deserve it. I was saying the other day, I believe that minimum wage everywhere should be $20 an hour. That's $40,000 a year. At least that gives people a means to live without being restricted to the services or shackled to the services. Granted, a lot of these services are good, especially when you need them. Medicaid, food stamps, help with your rent. It is really good, but you don't want to be shackled to those services. So $20 an hour minimum wage, I think, should be across the board. That's just me. That's just me. So what do you guys think about that? Hey, Traybone, thank you so much for joining this morning. I know you're probably out there doing what you do. Thank you, Frank Pearson, and be blessed as well. Thank you to everybody who is out there watching, whether you are watching on Green Links Media. I appreciate you, or you are over here on TikTok or even on Facebook. I appreciate you guys all for watching. So I want to talk about what's going on in Tulsa. This is momentum, y'all. If this really, so let me just ask everybody, who on here right now is not aware of what happened in Tulsa? The Black Wall Street. Thank you so much. Grand rising to you as well, Bam Fam. JD is talking about they want us to depend on them to keep us in the workforce form of control. She's talking about what I was just saying, how we need a livable wage. I think we do. I think we need a livable wage. JD said she's not aware of the Tulsa race massacre. So listen, y'all, there was once a Black Wall Street. There were a few Black Wall Streets where it was independent Black-owned businesses in these areas, specifically in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, a lot of this history has gone unnoticed. No one has been talking about it because it was a travesty. So allegedly, back in 1921, a white mob came into the town of Tulsa in the area that was predominantly Black-owned, Black-driven, and they started this race riot because they did not like the fact that the people that were living in that area kept the money in that area. Now we're talking about doctors, lawyers. We're talking about a Black Mecca in 1921. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what that looked like in 1921? Well, allegedly, they didn't like that. And they actually dropped bombs in this area. Fires were started, homes were ruined. They're talking about over $2 million in damages. That was done. So let me just go into this. And thank you to, again, Roland Martin, because yesterday when I was doing my research on this, and I'm just going to play a little bit of the video, he was the only one that reported on this. And this is huge, y'all, because this, if the DOJ does what the DOJ needs to do in this case, that would mean so much for Black Americans and people who have been unjustly biased, not able to buy homes in certain places, this redlining. It really would be a move in the right direction, because unfortunately it is real. What happened here in America is real, and it's really not talked about. It's just not, because it's like a stain. Nobody wants to talk about that. They use Black people to have these farms and barely pay them in the way that our ancestors were living. Nobody wants to talk about that because, I mean, be honest, it's a little bit embarrassing. It's a little bit embarrassing. So I get it, but it still needs to be talked about because a lot of us are living the way we are living based on redlining, based on, hey, Gerald, Drake, thank you so much for joining this morning, because of getting our pockets, because of the way we look. I've had it done myself. Once I found out that's what was being done, it was like, wow, a lot of us, our wages are not the same as our white counterparts. That's just the truth of the matter. You can do your due diligence and look it up. And I'm not saying that to shame anybody or make anybody feel bad. These are the facts. Yeah. So let's play a little bit of what was announced yesterday. And hopefully you all can hear it. And again, I want to say thank you so much to Roland Martin for reporting on this, because at the time he was the only one
to bravely demand the justice that they have deserved.
Line this a little bit.
The immense suffering endured by survivors and their descendants. The dead cannot cry out for justice. It is our
LaDonna.
So right now, who's speaking, everybody? And I hope you all can hear it on TikTok. So it's the lawyer that's about to speak.
Hey, well, good afternoon. I am attorney Demario Solomon Simmons, and I have the great pleasure of representing this wonderful community here in Tulsa that suffered from the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, and obviously the last two living survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre, which is 110-year-old Mother Viola Ford Fletcher and 109-year-old Mother Leslie Benefield Randall, who will be 110 on November 10th. And while they're not here with us physically, they do know what's happening. I do have Mother Fletcher's niece and also Uncle Red's daughter here, Muriel Watson, and Mother Randall's granddaughter and caretaker, LaDonna Penny. I also have my dear sister, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, who's a direct descendant of a Tulsa Race Massacre victim. And we also have Chief Amasan, who's also a direct descendant of a Tulsa Race Massacre survivor and victim. You also will hear from later on from Congressman Al Green out of Houston, Texas, who's been working very closely with us on this issue.
I'm going to pause it for a minute, everybody. Bam Fam said it's sad that no one was charged for that, no accountability, and they just get away with murder. Hopefully, Bam Fam, they have two living witnesses, 109 and 110. Look at God. Look at God. All I can say is, God willing, that they have their testimonies and everything played out on tape, on videos, that God forbid if anything happens to them. Exactly what happened to the money, Bam Fam said. Exactly. I'm going to continue to play this. This is the lawyer speaking, everybody. His name is Demario Solomon Simmons.
Issue as we seek justice and reparations for the survivors, the descendants, and the Greenwood community. I am so excited today to announce that this morning or this afternoon, after years and years and years, decades of pushing the federal government to first recognize that the massacre occurred, and two, to actually do something about it, to recognize it, to do an evaluation.
So you see what he's saying is, first, recognize that it happened. Like, admit this happened. Admit this happened. This was in 1921. People lost their homes. People lost businesses that they had built up from the ground. They put all their savings into. Like, this really happened. And the Oklahoma Supreme Court shot it down. They rejected it. They rejected it, y'all. Hey, Marianne, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Of it, to do something that can move justice forward. I'm so excited to announce that this morning, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Christian Clark, announced that the United States federal government Department of Justice will open a review and evaluation of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's talk, y'all. Big shout out to the DOJ. That is a step in the right direction. This is a step in the right direction, y'all. This is exactly what we want to have happen, because this means first they have to admit that something really happened. Because if there's no admission, they say it didn't happen, but it really happened. People lost their homes, and there's two witnesses still living and breathing that can account for what went on. And it was out of pure greed and jealousy. This was for us, by us, Black Monopoly. Exactly, Bam Fam. And I say that to say that right now in the news, we have a lot of people that are coming down that look like us. If you look like me, you know what I'm talking about. Why is it that once you get to a certain point, they want to shoot you down? Bam Fam said, and they destroyed it on purpose because we were very successful. Look at ATL. Yes, look at Atlanta. Atlanta is a perfect example of what that looks like. But we had more than Atlanta, y'all. We had more than Atlanta going on. This was in 1921. Bam Fam said they don't want us to know that we are very successful without them. Who agrees? Who agrees? It is hard when you have been pushed down just because of what you look like, just because of who you choose to love. Because this is not just about what your skin color is. This is about just being different, not being what has been deemed to be normal or superior. There should be no superiority. We are all humans, right? Are we not? Are we not? Do we not bleed the same? The only difference is our skin color. Some of us, have cultural differences based on where we live or how you were brought up, and that is okay, and that should be okay. But what happens if somebody tell you, because you like this, because you look like that you have to live over there, that you can't come here, that you can't make this? What about that? That's what's been being done, y'all. That's what's been being done. Bam Fam said it's in our history book. Look at the painting from back in the 1920s. Blacks are there. Yeah. It's sad to report, everybody, but there's been a lot of injustice here. A lot of injustice, and this has not been fair. So this really is a major, major announcement, and I pray that the DOJ does is just. Hey, So Petty, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope that the DOJ does is just process and what it needs to do to make sure that there's some justice. To make sure that there's some justice, I guess this was on the Biden-Harris plate when they came into office. And I don't know if this is a push, for Harris. If it is, big ups to Harris for getting this out there. Big ups to Harris. Now, I had to look at, I am not into politics, y'all. I'm not into that. So I actually had to look up what the DOJ does. Because I just didn't know. So it says that the Department of Justice, the DOJ, is a federal agency that enforces federal law. So they enforce the federal laws, prosecutes criminals, and represents the United States in civil and criminal litigation. The DOJ mission is to uphold the rule of law, protect civil rights, and keep the country safe. Now, all that is a lot. If that is what they are supposed to do, then this case should be pushed through, right? Was there not civil rights violated? There were. I mean, these people's homes were bombed just based on what they look like. Based on what they look like. Because they decided to spend money in a place where they lived. Isn't that a lot of the issues that's going on right now? I think about my city of Buffalo and how we are still privy to a lot of mom and pop shops. But across the country and world, a lot of these mom and pop shops have been just obliterated because there's big companies coming in, these chain restaurants coming in, places like Walmart coming in that has obliterated these small mom and pop shops. Isn't that exactly what was done? Obliterated. People had put their life savings into these businesses only for them to just be gone, just based on what you looked like. Right now we have racism and we have bigotry just at an all-time high, especially right now with what's going on in politics. I mean, this country is really divided. And it should not be, because it really is a war on us, y'all. Imagine if we all, it does not matter what you look like. Imagine if we all got together. Big Mike said, we're all in politics if we're out here casting votes for the people that are not doing their job. I agree. I agree. This goes back to, who are we voting for? Who's in office? Who's protecting our rights? He went on to say, and we don't care because we go right into those big box stores. Right? How many of us shop at Amazon because we want to get it within 3-4 days? Many of us. But what that did is take out those mom and pop stores. JD said, do you know the story of Oscarville, Georgia? No, JD, I do not, but thank you for bringing that to the table. I'm going to look that up. What do you know about it, JD? And anybody in the chat, does anybody know the story of Oscarville, Georgia? So what happened in Oscarville? I'm going to look it up. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you so much for bringing this up. So this is another case. So I looked it up. Thank you so much, JD, for that. So in 1912, a series of events in Oscarville, Georgia, led to the forced displacement of more than 1,000 Black residents from the Forsyth County and the destruction of the Black community. Lake Lanier. Yes. So Patty, yes. I've heard the stories of Lake Lanier. That is not a place that I would visit. How many of you have heard the story of Lake Lanier and how that place is apparently, allegedly haunted based on the atrocities that were done there? Think about that. Bam Fam says, see what they did in Oscarville is Lake Lanier now. Listen, y'all, I just want to open up the conversation. I'm not saying that we should be looking at each other or pointing fingers at each other. I just want to open up the conversation and say, what can we do so that these atrocities no longer happen? And should we tell the people that's at the top that they need to be doing more? So Perry said, Lake Lanier, yes, I'm from South Georgia. Banfam said, it is a hunter. I don't even go down there. That's what I've heard. I've heard that people do not even go because of the hauntings and stuff. Big Mike said, we have to stop letting history repeat itself. Bam. That part. We have to stop letting history repeat itself. We can rewrite history. We can write it to the right. We can rewrite it so it's right, so it's better. We can do that. But how many of us are willing to do that? How many of us are willing to put aside those prejudices that may have been inbred into us because we grew up a certain type of way? How many of us are willing to do that and say, you know what? I see you, human. I see you. You bleed the same blood that I do. The only difference is our skin color. How about we work together? Because everybody's hurting right now. Everybody's hurting right now. Look at the dock workers. They look like all of us. Everybody that's watching today, they look like all of us. And they're fighting for the rights. How many nurses walked out? So Parody said, we need to educate ourselves and our people. I agree. Hey, Mind, Body, Renewed Med Spa, thank you so much for joining. I agree. I agree. So, Parody, we need to educate ourselves and our people and stop becoming a product of our environment and invoke change. Bam, 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 bam. She said it right there. Just because of where you grow up at does not mean you need to become a product of that. You don't. That conditioning, that inbred into us, you can shed that skin. That's what I'm doing right now, y'all. I'm shedding that skin. JD said, I'm willing. I see you human. I see you human too, JD. Oh, that just made my whole spirit just ignite. That part. That part. I'm willing. I see you human. That's all. That's all. And if we can get these people that's in the DOJ to make sure that something is done, because that was an atrocity that was done. What was done in Oscarville was horrible as well. It is not anybody's place to displace anyone just based on what they look like. It's not fair. So Perry said, absolutely. Bam Fam said, what I don't understand is why it is so many white police officers in a black neighborhood. Well, that's to try and keep people. You can kind of guess why that is. I don't get why, if you have police officers, I believe the police officers should look like the demographic that they're policing. Would anybody agree? Would you not want somebody with shared experiences policing you? I would. I would rather the neighborhood police itself, to be honest with you. Can we get back to that? Bam Fam said, Bam Fam too, and so Perry is responding to what Bam Fam said about not enough black police officers in white neighborhoods. And so Perry said, to intimidate and destroy our communities. What are y'all thoughts? It's been done. It's been done for years. It's been done for years. And to add to that, why do we also have some black officers that fall into the line of being intimidated, of intimidating people and beating on them? Because it goes both ways, y'all. See, I can't let us off the hook. I just can't. Yes, there's been atrocities done to us, but some of us have fallen into that thing too and started doing us wrong. You feel me? I feel as a collective, y'all, if we start working together, and just like JD said, I see you human, do more of that, I think life will be much better for everybody. So Perry said, sadly, we fall for it and do the work for them. We are our worst enemies. I would agree. Big Mike said, zero, they have to walk the blue line. Some of us do fall into that line, and we do the work for them because we've been conditioned to think that we are less than. I've talked about this before, and this is a process that me, myself, have gone through, still going through, especially when you talk about that imposter syndrome, like it's real. And we've been conditioned to think that we can never be more than our environment. We've been conditioned to think that we can't become what we have been destined to become. The dreams have been lost, dreams unrealized, you know. I'm just telling y'all from my standpoint of how I felt in my life and the process that I have gone through and the process that I am going through right now. Like, I am really sharing some stuff, y'all. When I get up here and talk to y'all, it's because I'm pouring my heart out and letting y'all know that I get it. Like, whoo, I get it. It's real out here. It's real out here. And I think that if we stop fighting each other and start realizing that the war is really on us, the normal people, why are the dock workers striking? Why do you see nurses and doctors walking out? Why do you see people at Amazon fighting to have a union? Because it's really the war on us, y'all. So Perry said, I need to go find the podcast on imposter syndrome to refresh my mindset. Imposter syndrome is when you do not believe that you are the person that you are becoming. It's very hard for change in a lot of us. A lot of us are attached to that person that we've always been. So imposter syndrome is like, no, I see that person over there and who I may become, but can I really do that? Can I really be that person that get up on that live and talk to these people that I don't even know, but I'm going to pour my life out to them because I understand? Can I really be that person? Can I really be that person that's going to build that or write that book? No, because I've always been this person that I am. I've always been this person. How many of us know people that have said, well, I've always done it like that, or I've always done that, or this is how I've always seen it, or I can't see it anyway because that's how I was raised. You know? Big Mike said, once we can get rid of the crab-like mentality, we'll be good. Bam Fam said, I still can't believe that we have a convicted felon run for the highest chair in our country. Okay. We have a convicted felon, 34 counts. 34 counts. running for the highest chair in this state of the union. The highest chair. But we all know people, or many of us may know people that can't get a job that's going to adequately provide them with a livable wage because they have a felony. Because they have a felony. How many background checks have you gone through? They're looking for felonies. They're looking for misdemeanors. They're looking to see what your past looked like. But we have potentially a president, this presidential candidate, that's really on task to become at the highest in this nation. Yeah, can we start sticking together? So Parody said, and afraid to step outside our comfort zone and be what we are destined to be. She's talking about imposter syndrome. We are. Big Mike said, if you can get up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror, you are happy, you can do it. Ooh, I received that one. Yes. JD said, I felt that you were genuine from the first day and I keep coming back. It's real respectful you here. Oh, JD, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bam Fam. I appreciate you. Hey, Queen Numia, come on in the room, share some of this, get some of this love as you guys are coming into the room. Listen, y'all, I was raised a certain way. I came up in the 70s and then I had to change my mindset. I had to do some rethinking. And as I began this rethinking, I started looking at life much differently. I started looking at life as life was playing out. I'm like, wait a minute, I was taught that, but maybe that's not right. I did that time, but maybe I have to go this way. And things start getting better for me. Not to say that I don't have some human experiences, because I talk about them. I do. I'm fighting some things right now. It gets real. It gets real. But I want to keep it real and open with y'all, because I overstand, as my bro Franklin would say, I overstand what it is to be a human living in this life right now, dealing with some life-changing things that are happening all the time around us. We're talking about war. We're talking about poverty. We're talking about financial stress. We're talking about mental health. Y'all, is it not real in this world right now? Are we not all dealing with some things right now? I mean, JD was just dealing with a Hurricane Helene, not knowing what may happen in the aftermath of that. Bam Fam is a legend out here, but still, dealing with some things. All of us are dealing with some things, y'all. And that's what I think we have to all come to agreement with. Like, man, you're just human like me. You are just human like I am. Don't try and hold me down just because of what I look like or who I choose to love. Don't try and hold me back because you don't understand why I'm not the same as you are. If God wanted everybody to be the same, wouldn't we all just look the same? Apparently, God said, no, I'm going to make you in the form that I believe you need to be in, period. And what I place inside of you truly is who you are. Now, how you choose to play that on the outside is really up to us. I choose to be me. I don't want to live a life where I'm not being myself anymore, because I did that for way too many years. But don't think that just because I'm me, that I'm against you, or just because I'm me, I should be held back, right? Big Mike says 0. Yes, she is. She needs to be bothered. Queen, everybody saying good morning to everyone. Those of you who are still rocking with me right now, before you leave out, because we are going to be closing, I'm going to be on 91.3 FM in a few minutes. It starts at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be on 91.3 FM WBNY. I hope that you all downloaded the Radio FX app. Oh, let me know where you are from 1 to 10 with your mental health, because I really do care. But the last thing I want to talk about, y'all, is Byron Brown. Mayor Byron Brown, he accepted the OTB offer. So that means Mayor Byron Brown is not going to be Mayor Byron Brown here in the city of Buffalo anymore. What are your thoughts on that? Who do you think is going to be the incoming mayor? Now, I don't think that is reported yet, but there was some talk leaving. Let's look it up real quick. So what's being reported by WIVB Channel 4 is that he is due to leave this month, October. So he announced yesterday at a press conference that his resignation will be effective sometime in October. So there's no specific date, but he is leaving. Last week, WROTB approved a 3-year contract for Brown after members voted to offer him the position earlier this month. Now, we talked about this. I mean, the salary of the person that's leaving was almost double what Byron Brown was getting, so I don't blame him. I don't blame him. On top of that, everybody knows what happened with India Walton. I mean, some people say she should have gotten in there. They used some really hateful tactics to try and paint this picture of who she was. And she, to me, she's just a human being who had some issues, similar issues that regular folks face. So Brown said his decision to resign was not easy, but felt the time was right to take up a different role. Now, he is actually Buffalo's longest sitting mayor. So that, I mean, that says a lot. And I can't say that he did not do some things in the city of Buffalo. I do want to give him that. Mayor Byron Brown, what he's done with Canal Side, it's really beautiful. You really can see what downtown can become, especially if you start adding some businesses there. It really can become the beautiful Mecca that it was. I can remember going downtown, going to downtown Buffalo and doing shopping. Even when my kids were younger, downtown was still kind of vibrant. It was dying off, but I can remember when my first daughter was born, I would go down there and do shopping. Unfortunately, because we got these big box businesses like Walmart, a lot of those businesses started to die down, unfortunately. But what about the small mom and pop shops? Those ones that cater to certain communities, those kind of shops can still be viable in that area, I believe. You have places like there's a store called Mocha Butter out in Lackawanna that sells these creams, handmade creams and lotions and potions and different types of scents. Places like that, especially if you have the tourists, I think businesses like that may be viable in downtown. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, y'all. So go ahead and download the Radio FX app so you can listen to me on WBNY 91.3 FM. I'm going to have some fantastic music playing. So Perry said, I'm at a solid 9 this morning. Praise God. Grand rising to all of you. I appreciate all of you for rocking with me this morning. Go ahead on over to Green Links Media and subscribe so that you can watch this live as it plays out on Facebook as well as YouTube. Bam Fam said he hasn't did anything to the east side to improve, but put speed bumps. No more at Bailey. Yeah. I look at what's being done in the Broadway area, and I can see businesses popping up, but unfortunately, is I don't know. I don't know. Do you think that he got in bed with some people, and that's why Broadway is looking like Broadway is looking? If you are in the area of Buffalo, you know what I am talking about. So Perry said, I pray you have an amazing day on purpose. I pray that you have an amazing day on purpose as well. So Perry, I'm going to go ahead and end this. Catch me live right now on 91.3 FM WBNY. I'm going to be playing some fantastic music. I cannot wait to talk to you guys. You all have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day on purpose, because you are alive, you are breathing, and God said you can. Salute to you as well, Bam Fam. I love y'all. Long life. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on at 11 o'clock. I have something that needs to be taken care of in the morning. So I will be on at 11 o'clock tomorrow and back here on 91.3 FM WBNY on Thursday. So download the Radio FX app. I love y'all.